So it's like, can you imagine an imaginary menagerie manager imagining managing an imaginary menagerie?
That was pretty good.
No, it's not bad, yeah. All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for Bakemonogatari, episode 15. All right, this is the finale
of this part of
yeah.
the series, yes.
Yeah, pretty cool, pretty
cool. So, Hanekawa, or the
metal
cat, right?
Yeah.
Black Hanekawa is here and has told Araragi that the easy way to relieve the stress for there to be release is to simply fall in love with her.
Yeah,
his move.
Yep. It's basically all in his court right now, because there's a lot of this that is where he is the source of the stress, but then there's also the potential of where that's just a piece, and there's the parts that Hanekawa isn't willing to go into.
Yeah.
And it's a question of basically whether or not he's going to be the primary impetus for her either, relieving her stress or showing her how she can, resolve it herself.
It's a pretty nasty predicament he's in right now. Yeah.
You just had to do that, didn't you?
All right.
All right, y'all. Without further ado, let's get into this. All right, everyone. We're going to start the episode in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now. Wind is... Oh, wow. They're making this quite epic for... Oh, whoa. Whoa.
Okay.
Nice. Whoa, this is awesome. This is awesome.
Okay. Senjikahara cut out a paper model of Araragi, even with the hair little thing.
This music is awesome. Oh, here we go.
Not really.
Also, why would she lie? She's raw expression of Hanekawa's.
Exactly.
Yeah. I want this track right now. Oh. Whoa.
Animation.
Yeah. Nice. Whoa, the headaches didn't stop at all.
Exactly.
Wow. Nice imagery. The idea of the multiple personalities and stuff. Yeah.
Well, and the whole point of stress is when there's internal conflict, so...
Right. They keep focusing on this triangle.
Because it's a love triangle.
Yeah. Oh, dang.
Oh.
Whoa. Oh, my gosh. Wow. Yeah. Wow. Oh my god, I'm so hyped.
All right.
Like that was some like Monogatari. Like everything that they've built up to do in this show as like, this is our style, this is the way we deliver the information to you as the viewer. They just nailed it in that opening, however short that was.
They really did, yeah.
Jeez, this is dark.
Oh man, all the openings are so good, and there's so many of them. It's not fair.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta say, Metal Cat looks awesome.
Yeah. Wow. Ooh. Whoa. Dang.
Okay.
All right. Purple scene because Senjugahara. That's what you thought. Yep. Whoa. Whoa. I love the puzzle piece visual aspect.
Just like the storybooks, yeah.
Uh-huh. They keep...
I love the art style, too.
Yeah. Oh. Right. Yep. 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 Whoa. Whoa.
Ooh.
Oh, crap. Oh, Hanekawa keeps reaching out from beyond the screen.
Uh-huh.
Whoa.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Hanekawa wouldn't want that. I feel like... Whoa.
Best girl.
Wow. Nice. Wow. Whoa.
Is that all the stuff for the festival she was setting up? Right.
They keep doing things in threes.
Right. Because she doesn't want to.
Oh, the right. That's interesting. Whoa. Okay. Gotcha.
So is Hanekawa going to come out and they can have a good conversation?
Oh.
Oh.
Dang.
Mm-hmm.
The shape of the desks. Oh, that's not charisma. That's way worse. That's yes. All of them in some ways. Oh. Oh. That's a start as far as responses go. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Uh-huh.
All right.
Enough of a shadow. Oh. Right.
Uh-huh. She's starting to change appearance, so does that mean it's working?
Oh! Oh! Oh, yeah, that's a red scene. Very worthy. Oh
Huh.
boy.
All right.
Oh. Even die? But I need to live for her sake.
Uh-huh.
Whoa, I need to live also then for Hanekawa's sake as well.
And for Senjigahara's.
Oh, the sounds.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good. Good. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Right.
No, though. Yeah. Almost sounds like he didn't mention, Oh. Oh! Whoa!
Okay. Okay.
What the heck?
All right. All right.
Wait, was she trying to bring Shinobu here? She needed a shadow. Oh, crap. Wait. Wait. Oh, she wanted to become a vampire. She wants to become a vampire.
Oh, no, she wants to die. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's the other way for the stress to go away.
Oh. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Thank you. she's gone.
Yeah.
What the heck?
Okay.
All right.
So is that where she was the entire time, just in his shadow, or in
I
some
think
extra dimensional
access.
space?
She
Yeah.
just has access to his shadow, I think, at all times because he's her
Right.
Vampire slave or something. Hmm.
Back to this.
Yeah. Okay. Helicopter. That's random.
Yeah. Is that how Kanbaru showed up? Like...
Oh.
Okay.
So she was in his shadow the whole time. Okay.
Gotcha.
Oshino's gone.
Yeah. Seems like...
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, that is the question.
No, probably not now. Yeah. Hey, Tagi. Huh?
Nice.
Cool. Coming full circle here. Okay. Uh-huh.
Oh, like... Wait. Like, to the next life? So was he a ghost the whole time?
I don't know. Cool.
Squad walk.
Yep. Yep. Basically.
Nice.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
Of course.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow. That
What
was
a great
really
finale.
good.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
boy, the four of them just like walking in the city, that's like, okay, are you gonna like release your new music video or something? Or like,
Yeah.
wow.
the 3 stars, the summer triangle. Wait. It was all.
You just realized that.
No, because I was talking about the 3s. They were showing all the 3s this episode.
Okay. Yeah.
And then.
The fact that technically in a 3-dimensional triangle it's 4 points, and there were the 3 of them with him.
Well, that's one way to look at it.
But just another one of 3s.
But there's the love triangle.
Oh yeah.
There's the split aspect of Hanekawa.
Mm-hmm.
There's the final confrontation being between Hanekawa, Shinobu, and Araragi.
There's the fact that even at the end when Hitagi was on the bike with him, that Shinobu is technically there too. You know?
Yeah. Now, I don't know in numerology what 3 means normally.
Oh, no, my
wow. Oh, okay.
Wow.
Bakemonogatari episode 15.
Uh-huh.
This little part's over.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a way to end it.
Yeah, definitely.
So I need to say this just because I will freak out if I forget. Mm-hmm. Not that I could forget, but holy animation, Shinobu. Because the thing is that I was expecting them to do something where they would with how they were developing both of them kind of in this arc, even though Hanekawa was definitely the main focus. I thought they would give Shinobu a bit more of a resolution, maybe at earlier on, even though they still gave us some great flashbacks to whatever the whole situation was with her and all that. But no, then she just shows up, boom. Yeah, but the main focus, Hanekawa. That was great.
Yeah. Hanekawa, as a character, was one once I first kind of saw her, and she had the bookish, kind of, I only know what I know, and I don't know everything.
Yeah.
And there was this part about her that seemed double-sided, and I basically said I'm sensing yandere vibes from her.
And there was to an extent with the cat at the very least,
but not really. What I'm curious about here is that what I think this episode did so brilliantly was it showcased the pain and how serious Hanekawa took all this. So Araragi, his main problem with all this is that on some level he was trivializing, I think a little bit, in the beginning at least, her plight with him. And she calls him out on it as who are you to say that a few months of love sickness couldn't be more painful than a decade of family abuse?
Right.
And what I really like about this whole thing with Hanekawa is they brought up the whole concept of lies.
Yep.
And when you express yourself in some way, if you express, I would say, a limited aspect of yourself, you could interpret that as being a lie. It's some part that you're being dishonest about. With
keeping that part of you separate.
And I think that separate part is really the important thing here.
Yeah.
It seems like Hanekawa was unable to reconcile the separate parts of herself that she had locked away because of the stress of dealing with the family stuff for one, but then compounded with the pain of dealing with Araragi's just absolute no, I would say just absolute joy of, or just with Senjugahara.
Yeah.
So that unrequited love manifests in this metal cat, and there was, I don't know, I think there was something that I sensed back in that earlier part that I really don't know. I want to hear your thoughts on this. Whether you think this was actually reconciled. Hanekawa had always this visual aspect of being in a cage. They always had something put in front of her.
The visuals this episode were absolutely fantastic with the imagery and stuff. That was probably the best I've ever seen in this show.
Right. Now, because she doesn't remember everything.
Or at least she might not. We don't know.
We don't know what she remembers.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you say that on some level, she's still a little bit in the cage then?
Maybe, because the thing is that even so, as awesome as Shinobu, solving the issue temporarily was,
right?
The real thing that needs to happen is for them to have a conversation, and that still didn't happen, right? And Araragi was very pointed about, I'm not going to do that yet, right? Yeah. So it's been a temporary solution, but the thing is, Hanekawa knows herself, right, quite well, even if she can't necessarily deal with herself all the time. And she knows that there was an issue and that it's at least kind of gone for now. Okay, so I feel like because she's smart and she knows what she knows.
But we don't know what she knows, though.
But we don't know what she knows. And,
so how do we know what
she knows? In this episode, she said that she doesn't know anything and whatnot. I feel like she will not be completely in the dark over sort of what happened. Even if she didn't remember, she would be able to piece things together. So when they do end up having the conversation, it is going to be something that both parties will be like, we'll go into it knowing this needs to happen, right?
Okay. So
at least that's my take on it.
Okay, so here's my thing that I still feel like we need to go a little bit more in depth into. Hanekawa, I feel like, has been as of this point given the most character development and characterization in the show.
Okay.
In my opinion, Senjugahara on some level has just been one-upped a slight amount.
Sure, because Hanekawa's arc did technically last much longer.
It lasted much longer. She was introduced like in the very beginning with Senjugahara in a way, but there's this aspect of her being kind of the one that went through I would say the most struggle. Of all the characters thus far, Araragi, I would say, has gone through the most struggle, probably if you were to quantify it. But individually, based on their own characters' stuff,
right?
Hanekawa has gone through the most, I think.
Sure. Yep,
and
I would agree. Yep.
I loved the animation, the character facial animation they did with her just crying and just, having that breakdown.
Yeah.
That was so good. But there's this part of me that thinks she can't be like, there's a part of this that can be resolved, but a lot of this I don't think can be fully resolved until we actually see her going through the memory aspect stuff. Okay. Because there was a couple things that felt like, one, based on the themes of this episode and kind of what they were setting up, that that they've basically put a pin in Hanekawa's development.
Sure.
Shinobu coming in and doing the quick, easier, more seductive version of Hanekawa's solution to the stress.
Yeah.
It didn't happen. Hanekawa didn't basically have herself get killed by Shinobu by being a threat to to Araragi.
Yeah.
Araragi didn't become a boyfriend.
Yeah. Right.
Araragi's still alive too. I didn't think they were ever going to go into that because I think Hanekawa wouldn't be happy if the Metal Cat killed Araragi, actually. So if you look at all this, the only other thing that they talked about in this episode, they specifically talked about it, and it's been a theme throughout the entire show so far, is people solving their own problems with other people coming in and being like,
giving a helping hand.
I'm just giving you a helping hand. I'm just providing a proper environment to where you can do that. Hanekawa, I think, was given basically some peace.
Right.
They relieved her stress, but the problem I don't think is fully resolved yet.
Okay.
And there were some visual cues I feel like that hint at that, but go ahead. Yeah.
Here's why I think, because I agree that the problem hasn't been resolved, but the way they ended it, I still feel was very good for making it so that basically we can assume that Hanekawa will solve her problems.
Yes, eventually.
Because basically
this is a necessary first step.
Exactly. She was given the helping hand of giving that stress reliever so that now she realizes this is a real issue that I have to deal with, right? And then the idea of, when Araragi was saying like, oh, okay, I don't want to ask her how much she remembers because she has a lot to sort out, right? That I feel like is basically the not only is she's going to be okay, but she'll be able to handle this. Like,
it's a promise to us as the viewers, and in some ways of him saying, I know she'll be okay.
Like it's kind of because it's I know she'll be okay, and don't worry, viewers, we'll still have this conversation once she's okay, because she will be okay. Right. And that's
So what I'm seeing here, and I almost want to go back and look through the episode because there were a couple visual cues with the whole idea of threes that still feels a little bit incomplete, if you will.
All right. Well, there was Araragi, Shinobu, and Oshino.
Okay, so all right. So specifically with Hanekawa, I always thought that there was basically this yandere side to her, basically that she would flip out and be angry, violent, and stuff like that. And we got a different version of that in the Metal Cat.
Right.
Now, the Metal Cat had this whole thing with lies, basically. This whole thing with like, oh, you caught me. Like, I lied that one time on the bike there. I might just be missing, so I'm just going to ask you, what do you think that meant in the immediate sense?
Well, okay. There's the whole idea of her wanting to eventually kill Araragi. So there was that as a lie, because I'm pretty sure she said something of like, "Oh no, I don't have any issue with you." Well, or something along those lines. I can't remember exactly what words were used.
She was talking previously about the charm aspect of the vampire, the charisma.
Right.
And she was saying, are any of them obedient and just doing everything you tell them to? And I said, well, all of them in some ways. And then not in a complete sense.
Right.
And then Araragi said, none of them. And I was like, wait.
That's very interesting.
That's very interesting that he would go that route.
Right.
And then her thing of, well, then that was a lie. And you don't lie because you're the expression of Hanekawa. The whole point is that you're unfiltered. You have nothing that you're releasing here. So that means that on some level, Hanekawa is not fully expressing herself through the Metal Cat.
Right.
By lying. So that means
sure, because so here's something that you could here's a way to think about it.
Okay.
The Metal Cat is there with a purpose, right?
Yep.
It exists for a reason.
To release stress.
And that is to release stress.
Yes.
Now, here's the thing. Some truths, even told through the Metal Cat, would end up just building up the stress even more.
Yes, that's a good point.
It wanting to kill Araragi could be that was a way to relieve stress. But the thing is, that's not actually... I don't think that would actually relieve stress. Maybe
No, I think that was primarily to get Shinobu. That's what it's like, who are you going to call? Like, to come, you're going to call someone to come help you? It's basically just like, please send Shinobu so you can kill him.
Right. Exactly.
End this misery.
Yeah. And that was, again, a lie. That was pointed. It had purpose to it, right?
Sure.
And in some ways... And this is where I think it's the amount of theorizing and stuff and reading into all the details and stuff could really just balloon and go crazy. Is that the Metal Cat lying to Araragi is one thing, but what about the Metal Cat lying to Hanekawa, or Hanekawa lying to the Metal Cat? Because while the Metal Cat says that doesn't happen, well, would that actually be happening a ton? Because that's the whole point of the Metal Cat, right? It's one segmented off piece of Hanekawa. That means that there are other aspects of Hanekawa that are being kept from the Metal Cat, right? That's, it seems kind of like a lie to me in that sort of loose sense.
Right. There was there was basically that part where he's realizing that basically Hanekawa had been lying this whole time to him, like that she was happy for him and all of these other things, and she's putting on a good face when actually she was suffering. She was unable to express that to others, but more accurately because this story kind of purely exists for the observation of Araragi, as he's the main character, to him.
Right.
And yet, when the stress relieving mechanism in the oddity of the metal cat decides to lie with purpose, there's the bleed through. Basically, there's the connection of, okay, is this Hanekawa and the metal cat basically having some meddling where it's not entirely separate?
Right.
Or is it that there's something else? There's basically this other aspect that still hasn't been dealt with or resolved in some way. And I get the vibe basically that with Hanekawa we are like we are still a ways to go, because I don't see anything obvious in the way this was handled that Hanekawa would know nothing, essentially.
Right.
Because if the memory thing is like, okay, well, she was underneath the metal cat's control, of course Hanekawa doesn't remember it. That makes sense and stuff. But then there's this part where you're like, I'm sensing bleed through at the very least,
and the whole thing of like Hanekawa like reaching for Araragi constantly, but her not actually being there. You know, it's like I feel like right now I am up against basically a dead end in my theory / speculation, where I just need to either rewatch the episode to either tame some of the theories and be bring this back to reality, or I need more context to kind of apply to this information. Which again is probably why the rewatch value for the series as a whole is so dang high, is because you can watch the one part and then watch this part, or watch this part and then the other parts and all that stuff. And
I gotta say, presentation wise, this episode, the music,
absolutely,
the animation, the lighting, everything, it was fantastic. I want that track in the beginning of the episode. In fact, that's probably the thing that blows my mind the most about this episode. Was that first 90 seconds or 2 minutes or whatever it was before the intro.
Where they basically emotionally set the tone for everything. It was absolutely fantastic. It fits so well with Hanekawa as a character and what she's going through, because all the flashes and the way everything seems disjointed, but it makes sense, you know? It's almost like it's a bag of cats.
I also gotta say, in terms of a show that's primarily based around just dialogue interactions and stuff like that, Shinobu showing up and then having this like 7-stage backflip, aerial attack into,
that was so awesome,
into just whatever that was just so unnecessary and so like absolutely necessary.
Because the animation throughout the rest of the episode was fantastic too. Like
the hair
constantly moving. Like they didn't do still images really. Like not that I could catch.
Shirts blowing in the wind.
Exactly. Like was part of it for fan service because Metal Cat. Who cares? But one of the things that stood out to me, in some ways even more than the ridiculously amazing animation from when Shinobu showed up,
the voice acting.
Well, sure, but also
in the animation specifically,
Shinobu's expressions, because when she showed up, she was not in she was not in the mode of I am the person who sits here and maybe eats donuts, right? But that also made it all the way up to her face. Like she looked like pissed or like angry or something. Like I want to go back and rewatch that clip because it was so short. But
okay,
and that again makes me excited for when they do end up going more in depth into Shinobu's backstory and just basically giving her focus, because there's a reason behind that, and it could just be as simple as, oh, she loves Araragi or whatever. But
hey, they gave literal flashbacks surrounding not only stuff with her independent of Araragi, it seemed, but also Araragi and his origins as a vampire, or a half-baked vampire.
Right.
Because what it seemed like was Shinobu was fighting some other thing.
Person, yeah.
It could have been a werewolf, actually, just with the design outfit.
Yeah.
The design of the guy. But they were having an epic throwdown, and it looked like Araragi was caught in the middle of it, or he was watching, and then Hanekawa was in the back watching that. But then you see
Shinobu got her arm ripped off.
She was bleeding and a mess, just lying there.
Yep.
And Araragi stumbled to her. Yeah, she had a much more mature, kind of, like, just different look in general.
I wonder
and then he came up to her while they were talking about how you ended up saving her, which is not, like, wait a minute, that like, contradicts what our previous info was, right?
Of she saved Araragi, maybe, and that's why, you know, he's a partial vampire.
Yeah. And so he let her feed on him to regenerate herself, but then in doing so, he became a vampire?
There's so crazy theory. This might be just, like, absolutely ridiculous, but when I think about the fact that right now Shinobu has the appearance of a child, and the fact that she doesn't really seem to do anything, it makes me think that basically there's been some kind of regression, like with
Benjamin Button style.
No, not like that. I'm talking like that, basically because she was so close to death that it's almost like basically drowning, and your brain, like, gets oxygen deprived.
Yeah,
and, you know, there can be brain damage if you go too long and your brain doesn't have oxygen, right? So that maybe because she was in that state where she was so weak and she needed blood so badly and she wasn't getting it.
Oh, I like
before
that.
Araragi, like, probably let her feed on him, right?
This isn't her final form, is what you're saying,
right?
This is her weakened vampire.
This is her weakened vampire form because she hasn't been able to fully recover. That's why she sticks around to Araragi so much and things like that. Is because there's this codependency, which could make for an amazingly awesome character story when they end up focusing on her and stuff.
Yeah, I like that. I think also the idea that we have this character out there who's ridiculously, you know, powerful in the mechanics of the show, even though the show isn't the kind of show where they really care about that kind of stuff there. It's more about the characters and their personalities and motivations and stuff. Seeing, I would say, an alternate form in the same way that Hanekawa had an alternate form, I think would be really cool. But I think that this leads into the other thing I really wanted to bring up is Hanekawa is a vampire now. Like, just 100% calling it. Like, this is how it works, right? So when a vampire bites someone but doesn't kill them, then doesn't drain them, then they turn into a vampire.
But the thing is,
I might have my mythos stuff wrong, but, like, they might have to and this is also something where it could be, you know, we don't,
like, maybe you can only be one hybrid being at a time or something. So
no. This is not that kind of show. This is going to be the show where everyone will end up being super hybrids of all kinds of random different things.
The reason why I wonder is because now maybe it's that was supposed to have been some different kind of energy drain thing or whatever before, but in the previous time that seemed like it was still her biting Hanekawa, and she was still doing it for the same purpose in this episode. So I would think that if that were to be something that would happen, then Hanekawa would already be part vampire.
Okay,
you know,
but
maybe it's that. Maybe one of the things that she's weakened because of the whole thing is that she can't actually make other part vampires anymore.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, though, I think if she would have been, she was bitten in the past, but that was clearly an energy drain thing,
right? And is that just something that they were saying as a flavor for why she was biting Hanekawa and what she was specifically doing to stop the situation, or was that like a specifically different thing? But then at the same time, she was like doing the same thing here of, you know, draining away the energy to get rid of the stress, lock away the metal cat and stuff.
Yeah, I think it. Yeah, never mind.
Yeah.
God, I really want Hanekawa to be a vampire because think about her character right now, right?
Yeah.
She really loves Araragi. Like, she really loves him. It's a bit obsessive, but she really does love him. So So here's the thing that I kind of want to have happen. and I feel like Monogatari kind of has to go this way a little bit just because the type of show this has been thus far. There's going to be other girls. Like,
Definitely.
There's going to be more girls.
There's no way the show can go on for what 90 something episodes or however many episodes it has
without introducing
more characters. Like, that's going to happen.
Now, they don't have to. They don't have to.
Yeah, and that would be like, I would absolutely take my hat off to them
if they managed that.
If that was something that was managed, because that would be quite the amount of character development. I don't think
they're gonna do that. But I think one of the natural developments of Hanekawa as a character, given that she seemed fascinated by the other aspect of having this vampire that could take me away from my dreary life, and then he saves me, and not become a vampire herself,
right?
Like,
I mean, like,
when they missed opportunity here, like, if they're not gonna do that,
and the way that like she apparently like saw what was happening or something like that, and
right,
that was like when she started to fall in love with him. That seems very much, and that she's the bookish person. It's like, oh yeah, she totally reads vampire romance novels. Oh yeah, or has it, in the past. Yeah,
she's like, I only know what I know. I don't necessarily know anything about that. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? No.
Yeah. No, I don't write fan fiction at all. Nope. No.
Yeah. The overall finale episode, everything, I would say this goes up there as probably being, I don't know, 4th best episode I've seen thus far. It still isn't as good as number 12. Yeah. And there's a couple episodes in the beginning. I think it was episode like 5 or something, where it was
episode Hachikuji's resolution.
Well, yes, but there was the reason why, I think, it was because it had the Senjugahara appreciation.
Yes.
Senjugahara fascination.
Yeah.
Conversation. That's probably one of my favorite conversations in the entire show.
Yeah, that one.
So it's either my 3rd or 4th favorite episode thus far.
It's definitely
really good.
It's definitely the best presented episode. Like, presentation. Like, wow.
Yeah. But any crazy meta stuff, because they went a little bit into, I think, the meta stuff a little bit by being like, look at
Oshino's
all the girls.
Oshino was a ghost.
Oshino.
Yeah. I get the feeling that's what they were implying, and then they did the whole switcheroo of like, Oshino, yes, he was. I had my suspicions. Yes, Oshino, guy. He was a nice guy. Like, and that's it.
Yeah, I don't know if they really need to classify specifically what he was,
because they said pass on.
Yeah,
and that
he said he was gonna. But they also said leave the city too.
Right. So
I don't think it really matters what he is. Mm-hmm. I think that he's gonna come back in the show at some point in the story, at least.
Although that'd be crazy if he didn't. And then
also here's the other thing. Like, there's definitely going to be some point in the story where they go back in time. So
probably.
So that's at least one point where he's going to be.
Because one thing that they could do to make it keep fresh moving forward, not just by introducing additional characters, but if there is no Oshino to basically just sort of like mentor, yes, this is what you must do, this is the answer, this is how you solve it, then that could be another way to keep it fresh.
Well, that's how Araragi grows. That's what
exactly
his character thing is going to be.
Yeah, it's the hero's journey.
He's going to become essentially the new Oshino.
Yep.
So, yeah. The meta stuff, though, with Araragi being none of these girls obey anything.
That was like some KOTOR 2 stuff right there.
Yeah, I want to clarify a little bit of my yes that they do in other ways. Is just that, okay.
Well, and I think that was kind of like supposed to be like suggested that it's like, I kind of do.
Well, no, I think
that's why it was mentioned.
Well, I think that it's, I'm not trying to just needlessly disagree, but I feel like the show had Hanekawa bring that up to showcase that he doesn't have that. He has something else. Gotcha. Because he doesn't have the literal thing that would make them obedient slaves. But he has something.
Right.
And that is why I wanted to make sure I talked about this in the discussion, because when I said, well, yeah, in some ways, because then when he says no, I like it. it makes me
Shock
go
to the system.
Well, no, it just makes me go, wait, why is the show bringing that up in a way that I think seems to be kind of a foreshadowing thing, even though it has immediate relevance to Hanekawa? I feel like that's kind of a part of a... Either it's a slip up on the Metal Cat's part and revealing the whole lie thing, which I think is a good portion of it. But
so you want to hear my theory?
Okay, yes. What's your theory?
It's part of the being meta. So
okay, but for what purpose?
Because
the story. Because the meta stuff has to connect back to the story, otherwise it's just kind of okay. They use the meta stuff for the jokes.
Let's go through the. I'll go through the meta stuff, and then I'll see if I can figure out how it ties into the story in more concrete ways.
Yes,
there is stuff where it does tie into the story in concrete ways because it would make sense that Hanekawa would bring something like that up, and then the fact that the whole "it's a lie" thing, that there's a tie in there. But the idea that this is a harem,
yes,
right? This is a harem, and what is the like? Because the thing is, you could have like a love story that's like a love triangle, right? Or maybe even there's more than two. Usually, if you go to 4, then it's a harem, in my books at least. But usually, what I think about when I think of a show being a harem is that it doesn't make sense, right? It's just that the girls are naturally just drawn like magnets to the main character because that's just how things are, right? And then here they're setting up this thing of saying, we're putting a mechanic on it. Right. It's vampire charisma, right?
Sure.
And it's like, hey, that's meta, that's cool, that's, all right, awesome. And then they're saying, nope, psych, it's actually not that. It's that Araragi is, once more, we've said this before, a genuinely good, caring guy, right? And because of that, then naturally all these people end up caring for him. But and while they will definitely help him with things, and stuff, he does not control them, right?
No,
they don't follow his every order with perfect obedience and whatnot, right?
But the aspect of Araragi having this genuinely good hero complex, I would say. It's more kind of a savior hero complex than really a genuinely good thing and stuff. Because part of the thing I think that is part of the charm for the audience of Araragi is that he's kind of the like he's not a self-insert. Like he's not. But he is a wish fulfillment insert. In that you're like, definitely. I would like these girls, and he's just like boing, he's having he enjoys this setup.
Oh yeah, who wouldn't? Yeah.
So there's this subconscious thing where everything kind of just tends to work out for Araragi.
Right, and there's very good reasons for why things tend to work out.
Yes, but the meta part of it is that in a
things
harem,
always tend to work out.
In a harem, things are they are all focused like a triangle. Yeah. They all focus towards a specific. They kind of focus towards a specific point in that regard. So what I see with that is basically this show is either trying to say something a little bit more in depth on the psychological standpoint of things, which I would not put this show below doing. But basically, I think this show would definitely go there if it wanted to. I just don't know if this is the type of show that really cares about that enough. Because there are certain psychological things that I think they've brought up with the way the girls fit their tropes.
Sure.
Almost in a locked meta, we don't blend with each other's tropes kind of thing.
I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of he has 2 little sisters for one, but
I mean, we haven't even explored any of that yet. Almost in a way of them saying you think we can go there, but we're not doing that,
There's
or a part of not doing that yet.
There's a part of me that wonders with this show how concretely we are supposed to read into things. Because the thing is, it'll have things, and that's probably again why the rewatch value is so big, because then the context makes you have different perspectives that makes you basically weigh in more on it being certain things than other things, right? But there could be something in there that is hinting at a bunch of things, but it's not concretely saying this is the canon
Right.
answer of what we're trying to foreshadow, thematically, like suggest
It's an exploration,
or whatever. It's an exploration, right?
Yeah, it's an art piece by the very nature
to the
in
nines.
that I would say there's dialogue and visual storytelling, and that's it. That's Monogatari.
Basically.
Unless they do a hard genre shift, which I don't think they will.
Yeah, probably
is basically they're going to double down on this, triple down on this. And whenever I have a story that focuses more on being an expression, basically a canvas with, that's another interesting thing there.
What?
If you think of Monogatari in an art perspective, right, we're basically being told what the canvas looks like constantly.
Okay.
One of the things about art that I would say is beautiful about it is that it can tell 1,000. What is it? Picture tells 1,000 words.
Well, picture's worth 1,000 words, but also the idea that, everyone will look at art and get something different out of it.
Yeah, but the very nature of Monogatari is one by which we are being told constantly one character's perspective, view, story on said art. And then they're also a part of the art. So I see almost the character of Araragi as being this potentially very interesting psychological look of what storytelling is. Not just what the characters really are,
right?
But just what storytelling is in general. So I don't know if they really care too much about that in the concrete sense, like you're saying. But there's something there, and it's fun to kind of keep in the back of my mind. I'm like, oh, that feeds into that, or oh, that doesn't, or oh, that does. But really, really cool stuff. Really cool stuff. Bakemonogatari. We finished it. So what's next, Jacob?
Next is Kizu Monogatari.
Those are the movies,
apparently.
Yeah.
I think there's 3 of them. I'm not sure. I might be wrong. Cool. But yeah, we're going to be doing those next.
This is the first time ever, Jacob, we're doing movie reactions in the middle of a show reaction series. Yeah. What is life?
I have no clue.
How long are these movies?
I have some semblance of an idea. I believe they're around 50 minutes or so.
Okay, so they're reasonable.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Hey, well, full-length timer reactions.
Exactly. Yeah, we won't have to worry about it being harder to edit.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's timer-based.
Which kind of sucks because I feel like in a lot of ways there are people who will be watching this and they'll be like, I wish they could do the other thing because I would get into Monogatari if they didn't have the timer thing and stuff like that. But guys, this show is something else.
Yeah.
I think after I was willing to give it that 3-episode try, I remember back to episode 2, I think it was.
'Cause that's when they resolved the Hitagi crab story.
Yeah, I just remember being like, I don't know if this show is for me. I don't know if this is my kind of thing. But
even after they resolved Sanjigahara's story?
Well, no, I was in the beginning of the episode. Specifically, I think the part where she's she's in her bedroom and
constantly changing.
Yeah. And yet after finishing kind of a package of the series,
the first course.
Yeah, the first course, if you will. Exactly. I'm like, I want another. Do it different. Do it random. Do it however.
Eventually, you'll probably be like, I want to have that meal again, but this time I'm going to have dessert first. Why not?
Sure. Yeah. Just change up the order.
Yep. Because, especially with the way they handled Shinobu, I feel like that's the best example of why this show will be so rewatchable in all the different orders. Because, there's going to come a point where they're going to actually probably show that arc. Maybe. I hope so.
You mean the early stuff?
Right, exactly, where Araragi becomes a vampire and all that. Because that looks like it'd be really cool to see.
Prequel time!
Exactly.
This is where the fun begins.
A surprise, to be sure. Yeah, but a welcome one. But
I was about to go off, but I was like, better not.
Yeah. But that's because they didn't go into too much detail in it here, watching this in a different order where this comes after that one,
right?
That'll be really cool.
But yeah, this just chunk of the story will make a fine addition to my collection. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for watching this reaction and discussion. And especially thank you if you watch all the way to the end of the discussion for this here. If you want to see the Kizu Monogatari first movies reaction right now, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get an early access there. Any level of support gets you access to our Discord, where you can chat with us about stories or just hang out in general and chat about whatever. And if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.